It's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. It's Friday, and I'm not ready for Yarn Flipper Friday, so I moved that. I'm making that more of a any day of the week thing. Once I finish up the 3 skeins of yarn I have left, the Bernat blanket, I will give a summary of what came out of the Bernat blanket bags of yarn. So I'm doing a Friday Fun Favorites video. And starting it out at the top of the alphabet with axolotls. This is my axolotl bin. Right now they all fit in there. It's because I don't have any big ones made with, well, I do have some big ones. This guy's big. This guy's big. You see, most of these will have price tags on because they're all set for shows. Okay, I started with trying to start with like the lowest price and then go up to the higher ones. I have a pattern, a paid pattern from Minigurumi Baby Axolotl. Works up like this big. It's not low sew because you make all 4 of the little hands and feet and sew those on, and there's a tail to sew on, and you make the gills and you sew them on. So there is a bit of sewing, but I think I've got these for $10. This is what it looks like when it's done with a bulky yarn. I sell these for $15. I have the long axolotls that I make from the pattern by Oombawka. I love that name. Just Oombawka. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I do go a little bit rogue on this pattern. For one thing, I always add the mouth. I've said it before. There's a teacher who comes to the craft shows who has an axolotl in her classroom, and she says, you have to put a smile on the axolotl because they're always smiling. Okay. For the Oombawka pattern, they just do a straight leg. But I do the, like, make a chain and then slip stitch back 2, chain 3, slip stitch 2, chain 3, slip stitch 2 to make 3 little toes there. Because an axolotl needs to have toes. You know, they're walking around underwater. They need to have a grip. This was a free YouTube tutorial from Fancy Lama. And I don't know if this one is no sew or low sew. It looks like I may have sewn the gills on. Maybe, yeah, it looks like I sewed those on. But I just surface crocheted around the tail, and the legs, arms and legs, are bobbles. So there's a little less sewing with this one. Is that there's also one that's very similar to this. I don't know if I have an example, where there's also a sleeping bag pattern. I'll put the designer up there because I'm not quite sure if I'm right. I don't want to say it and then end up being wrong. This was one of my latest ones to make. This was from Genna's book, made by Genna, where it's no sew, where you change your color and do the gills, and then you surface. Oh, that's price tag. Don't worry about that. Surface crochet the little thing on the back for the tail. Legs are bobbles. So when I was going through my Oh Shiny box, I made this one in silver. I do have one in here that I made from a kit. Where'd it go? I made that one from a kit. If I made this again in worsted weight instead of the tiny yarn with a 2.0 hook, it would probably be about yay big. And I don't know, I'd probably sell it for about $25 if it was that big. But I haven't gotten around to that yet. Yeah. We have 2 guest axolotls today. The first guest axolotl was sent to us by Nora. She made Lottie the Axolotl, which is a paid pattern on Etsy, from Y Crochets, W-A-I. And she made it with Dollar Tree Just Chenille and a 4.5 millimeter hook. Thank you, Nora, for sending in a picture. And our second guest axolotl comes from Strawberry Bonnie. She made one from the YouTube tutorial by Complicated Knots. I think that takes bravery. Complicated Knots puts out some complicated patterns. There's her. I'm going to disappear behind her axolotl. She made it with a 2.25 millimeter hook and 24/7 cotton with 8 millimeter safety eyes. And thank you, Bonnie, for sending in a picture of your axolotl. I did find 2 axolotl patterns that I printed out this week, like, oh, I'm doing the axolotl thing this week. Oh, I gotta make a new axolotl. I never got around to it. I went on Ravelry and plugged in a search for free patterns for axolotls. And I found one from Anvy's Granny Handicrafts called Axolotl Amigurumi, but it's an axolotl donut. I was like, oh yeah, that'll work up fast. That'll be, well, I think she uses thinner yarn and a small hook to get a donut small enough to hold in your hand like that, because it goes up to 54 stitches. If I make that with my worsted weight yarn, I'm probably going to end up with a donut this big, which some people would really like. But, how many calories are in a donut that big? Too many. Then I printed up a pattern from YouTube, not YouTube, the other one, Instagram, on my list of freebies to print, where over the course of watching other people on YouTube, they'll say, oh, I found this free pattern on Instagram, add it to the list. And every week I print out a few more and put them into my notebooks. These haven't made it into the notebook yet. There is this cute little axolotl, which I did not have time to make this week. The biggest the head gets up to is 36. So that's not that bad. You know what? Those 3 boxes of 41 items, I got it down to, what is this, 7 items? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 8 items. I got it down to 8 items. I made progress. I updated so many Etsy listings. So I give myself a pass for not making a new axolotl this week. And I brought out my axolotl notebook because there are some in here that I've wanted to make for so long. I'll have to see if I can find the designer and the link for this one. But Axel the Axolotl, he has a little sweater. Oh, this one, Baby Axolotl Pink. That looks sort of like that kit that I just showed. Apparently, I made this before because I've got it all. I'm wondering if that was the kit. Where'd I put them? Oh, okay. That's the pattern for this guy. That's why that looks familiar. Oh, there's another Axel the Axolotl. I've got him in here twice. I wanted to make him so much, I put him in here twice. Did I make that one? I don't think so. There's a little no-sew axolotl. Stitch by Fay.com. And they look really small because she's got them right in her hand. I don't think I've tried that one yet. Why is there a pattern for a snake in my axolotl notebook? That's not right. Why is there a pattern for an iguana in my axolotl notebook? Okay. These guys have got to come out. They are not in the right notebook. Someday I may be... There's a chameleon, a snake, and an iguana in my axolotl notebook. And a crocodile. Dude, so much for me being organized. Okay, do we have everybody out that's supposed to be out of here? Okay. Actually, the patterns to be filed are up there. Okay, did we get the snake too? No, we didn't. There's the snake. Okay, Izzy the Axolotl by Whimsical Yarn Creations. I made this one, and that turned out huge. Was that the one that I made? I don't think so. There's the Oombawka pattern. There's a pattern, I think it was Skein Spider, did a Minecraft axolotl. I made one of those. I made it in Minecraft colors, and it sold pretty well, but it took a lot of time to make. Zinc.yu has a pattern for a little axolotl in party hats. I thought it was adorable. I printed it out. I haven't made it. There's the baby axolotl from Minigurumi, the first one I showed you. I have the Minecraft axolotl in here again. And baby axolotl and sleeping bag I told you about. So that, I guess, is it for my axolotls. I don't know where the one went. I have one axolotl pattern that I made in blanket yarn, and this thing was huge. It had like a white belly patch on it, and I only made it once. And the very first craft show I took it to, somebody just homed in on it, and she picked it up. I'll take this. She didn't even look at the price. I'll take this. So you would think I'd be like, oh, I'm making more of those, but I didn't. So I was telling my husband, I need to pick out an animal from the letter B. What did I do with my project that I finished this morning? I think he may have sunk into the axolotls. I did finish one item this morning before I went out shopping. There it is. Okay. When I made the marshmallows yesterday, I said I was looking for a color of yarn that would look like chocolate. And I found one in the bag that Lori sent me. I'm still plugging away at that bag of all the little advent skeins of yarn. I found out that one of those little skeins is enough to make 2 marshmallows. So I made a second chocolate marshmallow buddy with the legs that go whoop, whoop. Let's get him evened out there. We want him to have even legs. So I finished him this morning. I need to get him in the light box and add him to the Etsy listing next week. So I said to my husband, I'm doing this alphabet fun favorite patterns, and I did axolotls. Next week should be B, but B, I could do bunny, I could do bear, I could do bee. And he goes, bees are nice. He's out working in the garden. He goes, we've had a lot of bees this year. Bees would be cute. You should do bees. So, okay, we'll do bees. I think I have 2 bee patterns. One is my own that's free on my blog. But there are some other bee things. It can be bee related. It can be something in a bee hat, something in a bee shirt. This will be fun. And hopefully I will have a little bit more time this week to look up some bee stuff and be prepared for next Friday. Next Friday I have blood work really early in the morning, so I'll be done with my errands earlier. I sort of lost track of time this morning. I mean, I sat there in my chair and I made this watching morning videos. I had some breakfast. I went back to my chair to do something else, like to copy my shopping list from my day planner to a little piece of paper. And all of a sudden I was like, it's after 10 o'clock already. It's like 10:30. I need to get out. And I went to 3 different stores. I went to Aldi and I returned over a dozen glass kombucha bottles because they've been sitting in the garage for a long time. And if I would go out to put recycling into the bins, they were right in the way. I'd kick them and, okay, let's get them out of the garage. And I also took back 3 or 4 to the other store. Stopped at Aldi, got a few things there, went across the street to Walmart, and I found book ends to get my notebooks from end to end up here on top of this cabinet. And my plan is between over here there's a few on a shelf, down here there's a few, and I do have space open on this shelf now. So between those locations, I want to get the notebooks in alphabetical order. So, okay, we'll put the axolotls back at the beginning here, and then we need bugs for next week, because bees would be in the bugs notebook. Where's the bugs notebook? So instead of searching like 4 different spots, 4 notebooks, okay, there's bugs right there. What do we do for C? We do cats? Okay, there's the cat notebook. Life will be easier when things are in alphabetical order. Just have to get there. So I am going to go watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, maybe Shark Tank. I'm going to have a popsicle for my treat after dinner because I just finished up the dishes and then ran in here to do this video, so I'm missing a little bit of Wheel of Fortune because I only had 10 minutes to make the video and I'm up to 18 minutes already, so I've already missed a bit of Wheel of Fortune. And try to catch up on some of my works in progress. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the Axolotl show, and if you've got any bee patterns that you really like and want to send me a picture of your finished bee, or if you want to suggest any bee patterns, my email is always down in the description box. And see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.